Hi, everyone. Welcome back to chair yoga and meditation. Today's practice is going to be pretty much focused on upper body, some twisting action. So, in terms of what can you expect physically, that's going to be the emphasis. And I'm going to just have to fess up to what's driving that. It is this. I took a little slide down my carpeted steps early morning and thudded down 2 steps. And I'll tell you, I'm doing a little personal research now on the kinesiology of the buttocks. What movements are driven from that abductor muscles of the glutes? A lot of movements are affected by that. So I am sore in the tush. So if you see me skipping over or you're wondering what the heck, why, that's the reason. I've had to change direction a little bit this morning because of that little mishap. So there you go. Let us now find our seat. Just another little side note. We start our transition like we do. We come into the chair, we bring our block between our legs, we sit further, just different ways, in very particular ways that you're bringing yourself into the chair. While I was waiting for everybody to join in and just, preparing, I often will just kind of drop into some meditation for myself and just stay in the stillness to prepare. And it just occurred to me was, just coming into the chair in the room, because this is where I always practice, and bringing that block. I use the block. It just came to me to just line myself up like that. And I wanted to share that can be, those things are what leads us into the familiarity of that, the connection we have made, whether we realize it or not. The body mind has made this connection that these steps we take lead us to a place of stillness, of calm, of shifting gears. So, that to be aware of that so you can utilize that, so that you are aware if you're having a day and you need to just calm down or gather yourself. Why not just go to the place where you usually do your practice, get that block out, just allow yourself to be embraced by this practice that you have dedicated yourself to with me. So, I just wanted to share that. So this is part of our transition, right? We're going to bring ourselves into a little different way we're holding ourselves. And I'm going to ask you to join with me in the prayer that I often use to begin a class for myself. It is in my preparation work, but I think it benefits us all. So layer your hands palm over palm, and your hands are resting there at your chest bone, and eyes are closed. You start to feel your body in the fact that you're breathing. You can notice it as a felt experience of breath. May what needs to be said is said. What needs to be heard is heard. May what needs to be released is released. And may what needs to be embraced is embraced. And so it is. Bring your hands back to your lap. I'm going to join you at this juncture and of our transition. So open palms, we're using the mudra of open palms. As a gesture of receptivity. Again, keeping your eyes closed, holding yourself very upright. Make sure your chest cavity is centered. It's like located right over your hips. You're not leaning forward or leaning to the side. You're holding yourself very upright, and you're aware of that. And we're going to start with our breath practice. That is the Durga breath. That's a 3-part breath. Inhale, inhale, and inhale some more. Now, you don't need to hold your hands like this, open palms, if it's distracting and it doesn't, because you've seen me do it a number of times, this breath practice, where I sort of walk my hands up my front body. So I'm feeling it both with from the interior and also from the exterior of my trunk of my body. So that's the Durga breath. It's 3 parts. It takes 3 inhalations to complete it. So it's in, and in again, And then exhale slowly, but completely all the way out. I often do that like I'm blowing out a candle. So I blow it out of my mouth. You can let that exhale release any way that feels natural to you. Let's begin now. The 3-part breath. Inhale more, and release. So there's a little pause. In, in, in again, pause, exhale completely. I snuff it through the nose. That's how I'm doing it. Just if you're looking for direction, I take that in as an inhale through the nose 3 times and exhale out through my mouth. In, in, in. Keep doing that. Big inhale really fills, creates space in the chest cavity. Uses the diaphragm. This is also referred to as diaphragmatic breathing. Keep going like that. Very different breathing, right? It really changes your operation. You know, this is not how you've been functioning this morning so far. You're very focused now on this very unique style of breathing. Okay, last time. Let's flutter the eyes open, palms open as well. I think I kind of rushed it. We now want those hands open in our lap. We set intention at this juncture, setting the intention for our class, our practice. And that could be very personal and private, or you can kind of join me. Sometimes I'll offer a direction that I've noticed or want to call out. And that is to open to receive equanimity. Equanimity. That's that willingness and ability to be in the present moment no matter what life brings along, that we're able to find sort of balance within. I like to, from my spiritual practice, that term equanimity, I use it interchangeably with a larger self, you know, a broader view. It's not dualistic. Instead, it's just this wider, broader view of how life is happening, flowing. So open to receive equanimity. And so it is. So let's begin with some movement. We're going to inhale up, palms will come together, look up. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale, back up. Then exhale, take your backstroke. Let's do a few of those. So it's a sun salutation, inhaling up. Exhale, we bow. We're up all the way around. Nice strong arms. Fingertips touch it as you bring those arms back up, just fingertips touch. Float those open hands, open fingers down. So just a gentle flowing. Inhale is up, exhale as your arms drop alongside. Feels like you're kind of floating, almost flying, using those arms to propel that flight. But it's light like a feather. Let's land with the arms alongside the frame of the chair and pull back. I put my mitten hands on because that just gives me a little more intention with the way I'm holding my hands, a little more strength into the hands and wrists. Pull back, back, back. Let your chest bone come forward. Keep your head held in a way that's neutral so the jawline is parallel to the floor. Of course, you're arching your back body into the tilt of the pelvis is happening. I keep using that term, want to really teach that so you can feel the movement of your pelvis when you do the cat and the cow. Here we are in the cow pose, that extended spine, that extended upper body. It's a lot of spaciousness. Tilting the pelvis is what's going on. Let's practice the next one. Hands come to the knees, start to tilt, start to tuck. I'm sorry, start to tuck, tuck, tuck. So you feel a shift in your pelvis. Yes, the chin comes down and the shoulders start to round a little bit, but that's not primary. That's not the primary shift in the body shape here. The primary is the lower back rounding, that tuck of the pelvis. And this is the C-shaped curve of the cat. So feel it, sort of recognize it, so you can do it as we connect this now into the vinyasa, inhaling and exhaling into your new pose. Just humor me in really bringing your awareness to what's happening in your pelvis. When you do this pose, very, very familiar, that you're trying to bring more awareness than ever to what's going on with the pelvis. It should connect to your breath. So the rhythm that you're finding is yours and yours alone. You don't need to match mine whatsoever. You're finding your rhythm of breath, your rhythm of movement. Couple more, stay with it. We're going to meet in the C-shaped curve of the cat. So your hands are on your knees, pulling your belly in, squeeze that block. Use this as our work, our efforting for the engagement of the Mula Bandha. In other words, the toning of the pelvic floor. So keep yourself in sort of the round C-shaped curve, squeezing the block like crazy, and really work on your exhalation as giving more effort. You're squeezing the block more, you're pulling your belly button in more, you're trying to use and really find that bandha pathway of breathing, and that all adds up to a toned perineum. So remember, the inhale is kind of you're just getting fuel, you're just taking it's kind of the neutral place. The exhale is the work. That's when you do the work of squeezing and holding. And it'll take the belly button pulling in as well to really do this well. Good job. Keep going. Exhale completely as you squeeze. And when it's ready for your inhale, come on up. Reach up like you're doing a full body stretch. Push your feet to the floor. Straight arms as much as you can. Get your arms as close to your head as you're able. Reach up, full body stretch. And then notice that. Notice the activity in your body. Where do you feel an engagement of musculature? Where do you feel your bones more prominently? Like pushing your feet to the floor. For me, I'm always more aware of my ankles, that kind of thing. So just full body stretch, full body awareness, right? Inhale here, exhale, let's open that heart. So it's the W-shaped arms. And can you feel your shoulder blades moving? Try to emphasize that. Shoulder blades are moving. Inhales up, exhale, open the heart. Hold your head in a way that your neck just feels easy. It's like easy. There's no strain whatsoever. You're managing the weight of your head. Last time, inhaling up. When we exhale, find your T shape. So stretch your fingers apart, spread your hands wide open. Arms are extended to shoulder height, and it's a T shapes. And then turn your head to look one way. Spend some time there, breathing both in and out, moving your head a little bit, dropping the chin, because you're exploring ways that you can find not only the range of motion that you discovered right away, but maybe some movement to find, like, I guess I could go a little more over there. So in other words, inviting a little more range of movement at this point. Just inviting that. Full breath in and out helps even doing this. So try to bring your full breath in and out to this simple action. When you're ready, I'm sure some of you have already done it, you're turning to the other side. Stretch those hands open wide. Find out what kind of range of movement you found, and then work with it. With compassion. You're not bullying yourself. You're going to ease your way into a little more movement. Let's bring our gaze back to center. Reach up, make a fist of your hands now, fist it. And when you bring down, it's like the squeezing of the biceps. So reaching up, fist and squeeze. So come in, a little more power now. See if you can do this breathing in and out through your nose. Change that about the breathing, that you're very much focused on nostril breathing. Last time. We're going to meet in that position with our engagement. We're contracting the biceps now and punch out. So I still have a fist. Punch that out. Circle now. Circle the wrist. So just changing direction, and you're kind of holding your hands in a fist. If softening feels less, more natural to me, feels a little better, soften the fist. It's the soft fist can work too. Lots of different direction, lots of movement. You know, you're just exploring that. Inhale with me, palms up. Exhale, bow at the heart. Inhale up and exhale all the way down and around, all the way down and around. Let's lose the block for a minute and take a wider stance, and let's find our claw. So I like to do the movement through the shoulders with a little broader base. So that's why I have you come into this open up. Heels are in, toes are out. You're still kind of forward on the chair. Let's get a hold of that claw. So we've got our arms straight up and we're bending the elbow, no ducking of the head. You know what to do. So you're going to get a hold of it, find that rhythm of movement where you start switching it out. So if you find yourself taking lots more time with this than what you're thinking or you're observing, I want you to just trust yourself. You know what you're doing. It's your practice. But always I want you to be aware of the fact that you are breathing, and you can notice the breath even as you do this movement through those shoulders. You're noticing, yep, I'm breathing. You might be breathing loudly out of your mouth. Okay, take whatever you can get. You pick up the pace if you want to, making that trade-off. I'm a big fan of this, as you might have gathered. I think it's just such a comprehensive movement. Gives us a big bang for the buck. All right, let's finish it up. So it feels like you did the same number on each side. I'm going to tuck my cloth underneath me, and we're going to circle around here. So keep your head, neck, and spine in alignment. Your head's not moving. It's just your whole body is moving, and it happens to include your head a little bit, but not swinging that head around like a lasso. We're just going to keep that movement in a big circular way that it feels like you're right inside the pelvic bowl. You can feel a little bit the muscles that reside there inside the pelvis. Let's change the direction if you haven't done that yet. Come back to center, and I'm just going to give you a little tip here, just a new way to approach that. Every time you pull yourself back, the circle includes a pulling back, and then you round to the front. Pull that belly button in. So every time you're pulling back, pull the belly button in, then maybe you soften it. So just add that to the mix. Pulling in. Let's change the direction again. Pulling in the belly when you come back. Keep going like that. Excellent. Let's come back to neutral, and any kind of shrugging or movement you need to do to reset the body and catch up with your breath right now. You got a big space between your legs. Let's find kind of the center idea. I'm going to just put this block out for the heck of it. So I know that that's my center. And so I want you to dip your shoulder toward that center. Dip. You have to fold way down. You fold your body toward that block, if that's what you're doing, and you're emphasizing one shoulder and then the other shoulder. So see what you can do. Little twisting action here. Find your breath. dip down, trying to lower to the level of your legs, to the lower of your knees, even lower if you could. Emphasizing one shoulder, pulling into that, trying to really reach down. Keep going. Just so you know, in my research of the kinesiology of the glutes, this is included. It does take the glutes to do this. All right, let's come back up. Feels like we kind of did it the same number. We're going to just call it good enough. Any kind of movement you need to do to reset your body. Let's hold on to the chair and take a leap over with one leg. So how far apart your legs are, you get to pick. We're going to do several twists. This is going to start us off. Smooth out your breathing. Keep yourself very upright. And if you don't need to hold on to the chair, you're trying to work on core strength, then that's what you would do. You can set yourself up differently. Good. Let's bring both legs together. So your knees are kind of pointing off to the side, feet are in alignment. So your knees line up with your toes. That's kind of paramount here. But the upper body is still fairly neutral, still squared away to the chair just like you began. And we're going to find a twist. Now, there's different ways you can come into that. Maybe you give yourself a big start with a swing of the arms. Maybe you wrap that back arm around behind you and push that hand back there and find some connection to the upper body and try to avoid using the chair as support. All kinds of ways that you can set this up for yourself. Deepen that breath. And I want you to be aware of your drishti, how you're holding your head, what direction you're looking. And I'm talking about your whole face is looking in that direction, not just your eyeballs. And find a drishti that feels new to you, a new awareness, a new point of view. Squeeze those thighs together. See if you can breathe both in and out through your nose. Just check. One more thing, another layer. Are you balanced in your pelvis left to right? Relax your tongue, relax the facial muscles. We're holding in our twist. Let's unwind the head. Keep breathing. Squeeze those legs. Unwind your shoulders and your arms. Go back to the wide angle. If you still need to reset the body in any way, please do it. We're going to start to the other side too. So again, holding onto the chair is a great way to do it. Nice stable contact with the chair. You don't feel like you're going to slide yourself out of it, or you're relying on a little more core strength. So you don't do that. Different choices. Big jump. Find your breath. The standing leg, push it down. It's a place we're coming to, so we want to make sure there's a strong anchor there. All right, I think that's good. Let's bring legs together. Push in. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer to the chair leg and then square shoulders around. So you're still facing forward, even though your knees and your feet have gone to the other side. And then wrap yourself into a twist, either like swinging your arms and getting you into that. You know the ways, just pull back, level out so you're not leaning. You feel like you've balanced yourself, into this squared away with your shoulders and your hips. Find that breath in and out through your nose if you can. And exhale completely. That's such good yoga when we remember that. Exhale completely. Then you know you've really held the pose. You've really engaged in that posture. Drishti. Turning your head, turning your gaze. A new point of view. Finish every breath completely. Unwind the head, then the shoulders and the arms. Come back to that wide stance. and dip your shoulders right into that center. Back up and down, dipping that shoulder. We did this a minute ago, same thing. One shoulder at a time, really dives down. Don't let your knees collapse towards center. Keep opening them up, holding them in that open space. Last one on each side. And let's come back to a neutral position. Excellent. Let's try crossing the leg now. So when we step over, we're going to cross it over. Legs are over this way, crossed. Some of you can bind your legs together. It means you wrap that foot, the top leg and that foot wraps around the calf of the standing leg or not. So you can bind your legs or you just cross them and squeeze at the thighs. Again, a big movement maybe takes you into your twist, maybe not so much. See, the only thing different about this twist is how we positioned our legs into their bind. Kind of squeeze the legs a bit. So you're using, when you squeeze your legs, that uses the adductor muscles of the inner thighs. Big breath in and all the way out. Drishti. How about dropping your chin? Drop your chin toward that left shoulder if you're mimicking me. And so that back shoulder, kind of even the armpit, that's kind of where I'm going with my chin. And I feel that so much differently in my neck when I do that, way different. Exhale completely. Get your head back to neutral and your shoulders unwinding. Let's get both feet to the floor. It might have to be a little reset here. Make sure you're caught up with your breathing. We're just taking a couple steps, not a big deal here. Just getting a little more energy into the legs and a big crossover bind if that works for you. Get your feet kind of close to the chair leg, twisting any way that you like doing it. Smoothing out your breath, feeling the difference, one side to the other. Almost always there's some difference in the experience of it. You're feeling and noticing those differences. Let's use the same idea with the drishti. In other words, dropping the chin down toward that back arm's armpit, kind of in that direction. Smooth out, soften the mouth. Just in case we started gritting the teeth, we got to let that go. Keep breathing, keep twisting. You all of a sudden your body says, wait, we could go more. I think there's a green light here. Follow that lead. Head will gently come back into its neutral position. Arms and shoulders back to neutral. Let's uncross the legs. We're back into that neutral position. So if you can now, let's just lift up some legs. Lift up, a little kick. You can hold on to the chair here. That works really well, or not. Kick it out. Let's come back to center with those legs. Now do the kicks. And let's do straight arms, straight legs. All the way up with those arms. Kick a straight leg forward. Kick a straight leg forward. You got it. Arms are right close to your head. They're fully extended. All of this is right within the frame of the chair. The whole frame of the chair tells you how you're lining yourself up. Straight legs and straight arms. Notice your breath. So easy to hold your breath here because you got a lot to do. You're really focusing on this movement. So find your breath. Good. Both arms up, full body stretch. Push your feet to the floor. Imagine you've got the block between your thighs. Can you make that imagination help you find that engagement? Inhale looks like that. Exhale, open the heart. Let's meet with those bent elbows, more like the goddess pose, where we've got our bent elbows. And then just see if you can just, I got to get a little further forward on my chair. Just see if you can do some twists, like just allowing the waistline to do what it can. Keep your feet still, really push into them so you're not, because otherwise you kind of scissor, your legs kind of scissor while you're doing it. Try to keep some stability in the legs so we're isolating the movement from the waistline. Whichever side you're looking at, just stop with your motion. You're in your twist, just hold it. Open your hands, be a little more intentional about the way you're holding your hands and your arms. Press your feet to the floor. Breathe. Balancing your pelvis left to right. Awesome. Come back to center. You're going to do this on side two, your side two. Keep holding your arms at shoulder height. Not a small matter, right? It's really utilizing the strength of your arms. Open your hands intentionally. Balance in your pelvis. Find the breath. Excellent. When we come out of that, let's go swimming. So you're going to take those arms and just like you're doing a big stroke of the, swimming. Here's what I see a lot when I'm live with folks is that there's a lot of kind of diving down, like when I use the metaphor of the swimming action, people want to dive down. Try to keep yourself upright. So the arms are doing that motion, but your body's still held upright. I like to turn my head with it. I add that to it every time. When one arm is doing the motion, I'm looking over in that way. One more stroke with each arm. Come back to your wide angle. Catch up with your breath. Fold forward between your legs. Fold forward, forward, fold. So your shoulders have laid between your inner thighs and your head is down, down, down. Breathe in, breathe out. Belly breaths here. Surrendering the weight of your head. One more full breath. One hand at a time comes to your thighs. Squeeze your elbows into your waist and meet me halfway up, a half lift. So your back body is in a diagonal line and it feels nice and strong. Push your feet into the floor like crazy. So you're just shifting every action in your body, all of the strength that you can feel in your body felt in your legs because you're pushing your feet down, you're engaging your thighs. Spread your arms away from you like wings might do, but bring them back rather than just to the side. Palms face down. Hold your head in a way that keeps your head, neck, and spine aligned. Legs, legs, legs. Push into your feet. Strengthen those strong legs. Lift up now. Palms will be together overhead. Exhale, bow. Let's take a pause at our bow. So your thumbs are resting right into the sternum. And you're pressing. Your fingers and hands are pressing. They're not just softly making connection. They're very intentionally making connection. Right side of the body and left side of the body has come together at the heart. So just to remind you, those energies of the right side of the body and the left side are different. We're honoring them both, and they both belong. They both serve us well. Inhale back up. Exhale, take that big backstroke all the way out. We'll bring our legs back to center. So they're hips distance apart. I want to move through the joints. So get a hold of one leg. Start with the movement of your ankle. So you're moving your foot around. Again, try not to lean back toward the backrest. Keep your spine upright and move that foot. If you surrender the weight of your leg into your arm, even better, because then you're really using the bicep muscles, to really keep you nice and strong up there. Get those snap, crackles, and pops out of there as much as you can. Move to the knee, so you'll stop moving your foot around, and instead you're moving into the knee joint. Find your breath. We're going to hug that knee into the chest. So grab hold of your shin. Pull your leg right into your belly, right into your chest area. Hold yourself upright. Flex that foot. Hold yourself up. Straight leg out. Up. Maybe walk your hands down. Straight leg out. Your foot is very flexed. Toes are kind of pulled towards your shin. And then hug the knee into the chest. Bring that foot to the floor. Any movement you might need to add for a reset. Then we're going to go to side two. Get a hold of your leg. You're still working within the frame of your chair. You're holding yourself upright. You're not leaning back into the backrest. Find your breath. It's comforting to do these things that you're so familiar with, because you can then really start to become more alert to the breathing, to how you're holding yourself, because you're familiar with what we're getting into. Let's go into the knee joint. Remember, you got to change the direction. I'm not certain I did that on the other leg. We do want to change the direction of the movement. Let's hug the knee into the chest. Go by way of your shin, pulling in. Keep yourself very upright. Straighten leg. Climb up that leg. So get a straight leg out there. Just hold it in any way you can. Very flexed foot. Standing leg, foot on the floor. Make sure you're aware of it. It's connected. You can feel it grounding you. Let's hug the knee into the chest. Very flexed foot. And then put your both feet back. And let's take a little wider stance as we circle that out. Pelvis now. Feel the pelvis. When you come back in that movement, pull the belly button in. And every time you circle your way back, feel the belly button pull in. Change the direction. Lots of movement in the pelvis. Excellent. Let's bring our legs together, so hips distance apart. Bring yourself to standing. You might want to do that 2 or 3 times. I got to pass on that. The up and down movement really hurts. So take your time getting up and down, practicing your balance, and we'll set ourselves up for some work by the chair. All right, ready, set, go. Everybody have their chair here. We're going to have our hands on the backrest and walk away from that into the L-shaped stretch. So you're going to flatten out your back like a tabletop. Get your feet and your hands about same distance apart. Pull back through the butt. Maybe you have to softly bend your knees because your hamstrings prevent you from folding like this. So bend those knees so you can flatten out the back. Pull your chin in towards your throat. Make sure you feel like you're making an imprint with your toes. So your feet are really engaged here and you're aware of it. Deepen that breath. Stretch through the buttocks. Arms close to the ears. Steady breath. You know this pose. When we start walking toward the chair, right foot's going to lead. Left foot stays back. Your feet are lined up with the legs of the chair. They're not in a balance beam. You got one foot lined up with the one leg of the chair and the one is back. So let's bend into that front knee. So we've got some kind of bend, as much as you can do. And I want you to pulse with that. So you're bending and straightening, holding the chair or not. You could use this as a balance challenge. You could hold your hands in a different position. So holding on, various ways, pulsing. Maybe you find a drishti to help you stay steady. We want a fullness of breath. Let's meet with a bent knee. Find your choice about how you're holding your arms. You just pick something. How you're holding your arms. Steady. Both feet. You can feel both legs active. Inhale, palms together overhead. Look up if you can. Exhale, bow at your heart. Up. Go all the way down so your hands can interlace behind your back. Interlace your fingers back there. Pull back, opening up your pecs. Your whole chest feels really stretched and open. Pull back. Keep your palms as close together as you can. Find that breath. Let's release all that. Get our hands back to the chair. Step back. And we'll do it again into that L-shaped stretch. Softening the knees a bit so you can flatten out your back. Arms are the hands on the chair are about the same distance apart as what you find that your feet are on the floor. That's a good way to line up. Pull your chin in towards your throat. Keep stretching through the buttocks. Deepen the breath. Make an imprint with your feet and toes. Don't forget to exhale completely. Let's walk toward the chair. Left foot takes the lead. Right foot is back. Remember, use the width of the chair to line yourself up. Test the waters a little bit because how far you step matters, right? So what if you start bending your knee and that back leg is way too far back? So you do your little test run. And then start to pulse like we did on the first time, where you're pulsing that bent knee and straight leg and holding your arms in a way that feels creative and just right for you. You can always hold the chair. That's a good option. It's one of the options here. Maybe you're up for a challenge. You want to try something that's really adds to this balance challenge. Keep breathing. Use a drishti. Try to notice in your body what's engaged when you do this little pulsation. Where do you feel that? I'll bet if you pull your belly in, you're going to feel a lot more powerful. Try to make sure that you're pulling that abdominal strength in. Let's meet with a bent knee. Choose how you're going to hold your arms for this. Maybe you just continue to touch the chair. That is okay. Hold, breathe. You're looking for sensation. You're not trying to avoid it. You're looking for ways your body will, feel improved and cared about as you hold that. Inhale with me, palms up. Exhale, bow. Inhale up. Exhale, circle all the way around. Yep, we're going to interlace the hands again. Interlace those fingers. Pull back, opening your pecs, opening up your chest. Spread through the clavicle area. Steady that full breath in and the full breath out. Let's release all that. Hands come back to the chair. Then we're going to just sort of step around, shake that out. Now glue your feet to the floor and then really shake. So your feet are just never going to leave the ground and you're letting your body just shake like crazy. Arms feel the things like every part of you that's loose is like, okay, we're really shaking that out. And again, get creative in terms of the movement that just sort of shows up for you. Maybe you're twisting around, kind of almost dancing. Hands and wrists, how about that? All right, let's tap now. Start with that tap, tap, tap. Pull your belly in. Feel like you're holding yourself in a way that just feels good and solid. We're going down to the center of the forehead, off to the temples, under your nose, so you're like on your lip, and then the chin. And then both hands can get involved for the collarbone, under your armpits. Then just switch your arms so they're crossed differently. Belly now, it goes, you're going to go down the left side, no, sorry, up the right side and around. So up the right side, over, and then down on the left side. So that's how you're doing it. Up on the right side, down. So you're going in the direction of your large intestine. That's it. I'm trying to, I think if it looks different because, we're mirroring each other here. So I'm trying to I want you to follow those directions. Okay, that's good enough. And then back to the kidneys. I use a little soft fist back there, but we're in the low back area, just where you envision where your kidneys are. Tap, tap, tap. Let's go down the legs. Be very thorough. I can't do this, but you can. So go all the way down, round, back up, inside, outside. Tap, 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 all through the length of your legs. Keep tapping. Meet me up when you're ready to come up. We're in the belly. Just tap, tap, tap right in the center, right by your navel. Chest bone. Clavicle, so you just go wide. Let's go to the temples and the top of the head. Let's just swing ourselves into some loose fluid movements now. The arms are really swinging and you're probably at maybe shoulder height or chest height at least. Make sure your one foot lifts when you do this twisting action. That is the natural flow for your joints to go. So you're not trying to prove anything by keeping those feet down. That's not the intention. Last thing is our downward facing dog. So you probably have to move your chair or move yourself to face the seat of the chair. Face the seat of the chair. Hands come to the chair seat. Once again, I have found a pose I can't do, but I bet you can do it. So I want you to stretch that out. Hands are on the chair seat. You're backing up so you find a diagonal line of your spine. Pull your chin in towards your throat. Stretch. You're trying to straighten. You're making sure that your arms are trying to straighten your arms. You're trying to straighten your legs. That's the efforting. They might not straighten much at all, but you're putting in that effort. And that's the payoff. Stay with it. A couple more breaths. Take a little wider footing, a little wider space between your feet. You don't need to look up again. And then get yourself into some hip movements. So you're wagging your tail. You're in your down dog and your hips are going side to side. So the knees are going to bend for that. You're allowing that. You're encouraging that. So your hips can wag from side to side. Keep breathing. Notice what you notice. Beautiful. Let's start walking toward the chair. Get yourself up nice and easy. Let's locate ourselves near our chair in such a way that we've got support for the standing leg or the tree's trunk. So the tree's trunk, the standing leg near the chair, so you can always grab hold of it. So you're going to balance into that leg. That's your one-legged balance. It's the tree's trunk. You can either bring the sole of your foot to your inner ankle, which is what I highly recommend, or you could slide it up into the shin area. Lift yourself up like a tree wants to do. Lift up. That the leg that's leaning in or being supported by your tree trunk should be externally rotated. So you're not bringing your knee out front. It's rotated to your side. Find something to stare at. Use your drishti to steady yourself. And be creative. What do you want to do? How do you want to hold this? That it feels like you're not just trying to mimic a tree, you're trying to become one. Remember, you need your full exhalation. Let's try this together. Stay in your tree with your legs. Let's bring palms together overhead. Inhaling. Exhale to the heart. Go slow. Inhale up. Exhale, the arms float on down. Okay, let's try the other side now. Any movement you need, now you shake, shake, shake it out. Set yourself up for side two so that you have the new standing leg becoming its tree, the tree's trunk. The rooting is happening there. You rotate your sole of your foot to rest into the inner ankle of that trunk or the inner part of your calf. Pull in the belly. Use your drishti now. Stare at something. It's just like it works like an anchor, works like another root. And hold your arms into the branches that they want to be. You want to express whatever feels good and fun. Steady. Breathe now. Full breath in, a full breath out. You can do it. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Exhale, we're bowing at the heart. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down and around. Let's shake those legs out. Remember, this is my secret about the knee. So whenever it gets cranky, straighten it, bend it, straighten it while you're squared away, not off to the side, but your legs are squared away. That's just a great way to lubricate that fussy knee. So let's find our way into Shavasana now, finding maybe a second chair to use for support, or you're laying into your couch, or however you do this, stretching out on the floor. Again, just to remind you, I'm still here, but I am going to take the visual out of it. So put that. So the goal here, of course, is to find yourself into a position that feels really good and very supported. So fussy is okay. That this isn't quite right. I wish I had a blanket. Then you go get that and you get yourself squared away so it feels just right for you and that you can really surrender to it. Our practice today was opening to receive equanimity. I call that, it's kind of like access to the larger mind. And another language we could use is we're learning to stay in the presence no matter what. We're staying calm in the presence of whatever shows up in life. And then there's sort of a non-duality that shows up. The pairs of opposites no longer hold meaning. They're not as important to us as before, as we enter into this larger self. Notice your breath by listening. Can you hear the breath? And if not, could you hear the breath by changing the way you're breathing so that there is a sound associated with it? This is the quieting of the mind and body that is so vital to our good health and peace of mind. I want you to use a mantra. So hum. So hum. So hum. Just those syllables. And for now, can you be content with just the sound of the syllable and you're not waiting for me to translate? So, what am I saying here? Just relax into the syllable. So hum. So hum. Relax your facial muscles, soften your jaw and your tongue. So hum. So hum. We enter into the space, the awareness of the space that we occupy. And we can feel our body coming into a place of stillness, space, stillness, and finally silence now. Silence. The poem today is Walk Slowly. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper. And I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe, and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale it out of your mouth with the ah sound, a big sigh. And as you breathe like that, introduce movement back into the body. Get your feet to the floor. Bring yourself back into a seated position that is no longer reliant on the backrest, but back to a place of right alignment, very upright, very strong. Many of you know that I've been at the bedside of my mother. My whole family has been. She is in her dying days. And she has mantras. And she's got one that's really touched my heart. And I wanted to share that. We did So Hum today. And that translates officially, I guess, as I am that. My mom's mantra is, oh, well, oh, well. I think So Hum and oh, well are the same. Let's bring our hands together at the prayer position. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow into that heart. Inhale again up. Let's share this beautiful, peaceful energy with our communities all the way down and around. Hands again come to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you for joining me today.